Hey everybody, welcome to Amy Nolte Music. Did you know that Yesterday, maybe the Beatles' most famous song, arguably, has 7 bars in the verse? You wouldn't know it just to listen. Almost every song that we ever hear has an 8-bar verse. This one's 7. And like I said, you would never know. Check out what it sounds like real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 7. It's just 7. It's crazy that it's just 7 and that nobody feels that it should be anything different than that. My title says, why does it have to be 7? I'm going to take you on a little journey with me. We're going to do it as fast as we can, but it's going to be wild. One time a reporter asked Paul McCartney why the guitar chords to Blackbird move us, make us feel something. Listen to what he had to say.
Well, because it's magic. That's why. It's just magic. And when you think about it, we try and analyze it. It's frequencies. It's just a bunch of frequencies. So even when they're organized into a musical composition, there's no reason really why they should affect us. But they do. How? I don't know. It's magical.
I know that Paul wasn't trained in a lot of theory, but this was his answer, and we're going to see if it ends up being the answer about Yesterday. Was it just magic? Or can we answer it by talking about music theory? Recently, I started doing these Instagram videos where I said, if I take a very famous chord progression and I disguise the melody and play my own melody, can you tell what song it is? And I would just improvise these little melodies. One of the ones that I did happened to be Yesterday. And I had to give everybody a clue because nobody was guessing it. I had to say, it'll help maybe if you count the bars. And then people were able to guess it. But writing a melody over Yesterday that isn't Yesterday was really hard. But it really taught me something. In doing these little exercises for Instagram and TikTok, I have found out more about songs than I would have otherwise because I'm making myself write different melodies over existing forms and chord progressions. So I'm going to play that for you in a little bit because it's actually going to prove a crazy point. But let's actually look at Yesterday. Yesterday looks like this. There's a bar, and it says Yesterday. Yesterday, 3, 4. That's our first bar. One word. It's a biggie, really. Next, 2 bars are a phrase. So we've got a phrase that starts in bar 2 and ends in bar 3. It's pretty unorthodox that we don't have the phrase from bar 1 carrying over to bar 2 and then repeating again in bar 3. It would have looked something like this. Here's a melody that I wrote over it. It goes da 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 da. It ends in bar 2 and it starts again in bar 3. Da 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 da. That's what a normal song would do. It would take this phrase, play it in one section, a neat little 2-bar section, probably repeat it for the next neat little 2-bar section. Then we have a little drum fill, right? It kicks us into bar 5. That's how it should be. Yesterday is not that way. We have 1 bar. Then a 2-bar phrase. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. So already we've kind of turned things around. Bar 2 kind of feels like bar 1. Hard to think about. Let's check out the next bar. It's bar 4. We're going to start a whole new phrase in bar 4, but it's going to repeat the phrase that started in bar 2. Ba ba da 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 da. It's the exact same rhythm. The notes are different, the chord changes are different, but the phrase repeats. So bars 2 and 3 get repeated in bars 4 and 5. It's kind of nuts. Bar 6 is coming. This is the unique bar. It's the bar that changes it all. I believe in. And that's 6, 2, 3, 4, and here comes 7. And it's the same as 1. Start again. So we've got bar 1 repeating in bar 7, bars 2 and 3 repeating in bars 4 and 5, and a very unique bar 6. Do you know how Paul McCartney thought of this song?
Do you ever write songs in your dreams?
Yeah.
All right.
Yesterday. Decided it was mine.
That's right. It came to him in a dream. So even though I wrote a nice little melody that I played for you a second ago, the one that went da da dee da 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 da. If I were to finish that one out, da 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 7 2 3 4 8 2 that's an 8-bar form. My melody doesn't work. This first melody that I tried right here doesn't work. It's because of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's why it doesn't work. So I'm going to try. I wrote another melody that does exactly that. It wasn't easy to do, but and I thought it was just a dumb little melody, but I haven't been able to get it out of my head for the entire weekend, so it's kind of a banger. It goes like this. Da da dee da. There's the first. That's 1, right? It's kind of like yesterday. Da 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 da. That's bars 2 and 3. We're gonna repeat the same kind of phrase. Da 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 da. Then here's the unique bar. Da 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 da. Then we go back to that da 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 from the first bar. Da 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 da. So I did it. We could do that, and it would want to repeat after 7 bars. Okay, mission accomplished for now. What if I put lyrics to it? So I just real quick made some dumb ones up, and this is what it was. It was, Baby, it's you. That's the name of this song. There is no other one for me. Just wait a while and you will see. All I really know is, baby, it's you. If I'm going to repeat baby, it's you, like the first bar is baby, it's you, last bar is baby, it's you, that second and third phrase cannot not rhyme with ooh. That's something I just figured out. So what did Paul do? Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. I believe in yesterday. We've got 4 A words, and that's why it worked. So I just skewed my dumb little lyrics a little bit, and baby, it's you. Give it some time, you'll know it's true. There is no other one but you. All I really know is that, baby, it's you. Like I said, little banger, right? It works. If I rhyme everything, ooh, 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 it works. But then I started thinking about the actual lyric and about how important that word yesterday is. It's everything. Yesterday brings a melancholy. It brings a nostalgia. It brings a regret, a sadness. Just saying the word. Paul wrote another song called Tomorrow that I think is kind of an answer to yesterday. It's worth listening to. I'll put the link in the description. And it starts with the same chord progression as yesterday, but it doesn't do the same thing, and it's not 7 bars. Maybe, I don't know. I've never heard Paul talk about it, but maybe it was too hard to write another 7-bar song, and he gave up on. I don't know why. But Tomorrow, I mean, there is a famous song called Tomorrow, right? Right, Annie. It's a great song. It's a hopeful song. It's a song about progress and stuff. Makes you feel something completely different than yesterday does. So the word yesterday is crazy. I don't think you could write about another period in time that's as poignant as yesterday. You couldn't say like last week or day after tomorrow or in 19... Well, I guess you could say, do you remember, right? Like you could call to mind a specific date, but yesterday, it's everything. So I thought, what if we're not talking about a time? What if instead we're talking about a place? That could bring some nostalgia. I'm just trying to write a perfect new lyric to the dumb new song I've written to see if I can make you feel something like yesterday did. And so I thought about places. Just started saying words in my mind until I came up with St. Thomas Bay. I don't even really know if it exists. I think it might. okay, if I have St. Thomas Bay, could I make a song that feels a little better than Baby It's You? And so I just wrote, St. Thomas Bay, that is the place we'll hide away. Though we were there for just a day, I think we could make it in St. Thomas Bay. And all of a sudden it sounds like some kind of a commercial jingle. Like, it's horrible. I can't do it. I can't write a song that's as good as Yesterday. Try as I might. It's brilliant, you know. But let's not just take into account what the words say. Let's take into account the phrases again, but in a different way. Any song will have phrase, pause, right? Like, lay, lady, lay across my big brass bed. Big pause, right? And we do a drum fill right there, and then the next thing comes in. Some songs don't have much of a pause. I was trying to think of one, maybe this one. Say I love you is not the words I want to hear from you. It's not that I want you not to say. That one just keeps going and going and going. It doesn't really have a pause. Most songs have pauses. How do you know if it's love? It's just something you feel together. How do you know? Right? Like, it's pretty common for a song to have a phrase, then to have a break, usually a drum fill, and then another phrase. Okay, so Yesterday, right? Yesterday, break. After the first bar, there's a break, which is another thing that makes it feel like bar 2 is the start of the song. Break. Da 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 da. Break. Unique bar. Da 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 da. So we've got phrase break in unorthodox places. Let's think about those drum fills. I asked my friend Justin, I said, would you send me a quick voice note and let me know if you were playing drums on Yesterday? There are no drums on Yesterday. Paul would play it by himself.
I remember seeing you on TV performing this for the first time, and you were sitting there alone. None of the Beatles were around you, and you performed it. And I had never seen the Beatles do that before, and you point out in the book, the Beatles had never once put out a song where it was a solo song, where it was one performance from you.
And so when I brought it in, it was just me, solo guitar, and that was it. And the guys just said, well, we can't put drums on that. You know, it doesn't need it. And the one guitar is doing enough.
There was, of course, a beautiful string arrangement that was even added to the live performances. But there are no drums on Yesterday. But Justin, I said, if you were going to play drums on Yesterday, where would you put the fill? And would it be after bar 3? So this is what he had to say.
Yeah, so that is exactly where I would play a fill. And I've never thought about that because obviously we never play drums, or we rarely get to play drums on Yesterday. I don't think I've ever actually played drums on Yesterday. But I think the reason the fill goes there is the lyrics. There really are 4, let's call them 4 lines, right? So it's Yesterday, which I believe is its own line, and I think that's why it's 3 bars in the beginning and not 4, which I'll get to in a second. But it's Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. That's the first little phrase. After that lyrical phrase, the drummer would play a fill. Then, now I need a place to hide away, oh, I believe in yesterday, is the 3rd and 4th lines. So there are 4 lyrical lines, as if you wrote this down as a poem. Yesterday would be its own line. It's not, it's not 3 lyrical lines, there are 4 lyrical lines. So, yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away, fill. Now I need a place to hide away, oh, I believe in yesterday, fill.
Isn't it crazy to have 3 bars and then need a drum fill? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. another bar, another fill, right? Maybe right before the unique bar, right? Right before 6. Da, da, dun, dun, da, da, well, you could hear another one after 7. So we could put a fill after bar 3. We could put one after bar 5, and then coming back bar 7 to 1, right? I think we could also put one after bar 1. Yesterday, right? Another thing that might make bar 2 feel like it's the start of the song. So many things have led me to this: the phrasing, the pause, the drum fill. But actually the word yesterday is the most important one of these so far. Another thing about the phrase, my husband said, I've always thought about this song that it was cool when it goes, da da da, then it goes, dun 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 dun. He said, I like the dun duns. And he's really talking about the places where we could put a drum fill. The cello moves down like that. I've heard some guitar arrangements that walk down like that. It's a place for a fill. That's what the dun dun is, John, is what I'm saying now. But I thought it was a good point. Another way that you could break this up, just to be devil's advocate or something, is you could break it up into 3-2-2. You could say, yesterday all my troubles seemed so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. You could break it down like that. I've drawn brackets right here in my little sketch. I think there's an argument for that too, that it's some kind of 3-2-2 kind of situation going on. But I think a little bit more, I like the 1-2-2-1 thought of it all because of that word yesterday. And a crazy thing happened to me. I think I have a video called What Music Can Do, where I talk about what happened. But I was playing this song maybe 10 years ago to a lot of people in a rest home. Somebody just requested it, and I just started playing it and singing it without even thinking. And the moment I said the word yesterday, I felt about this song differently than I ever had before, singing to a room full of people with walkers and wheelchairs. I put myself in their spot, and then I realized that it wasn't a love song, which is what I probably always thought. But it can be about anything. Paul didn't. Well, at first, his lyrics were not meaningful.
Scrambled eggs. Oh, my baby, how I love your legs.
Fry's placeholder, he thought of yesterday somehow. And later, somebody asked him if he had actually written this about his mom that had passed away. And he kind of said, that's an idea. He hadn't thought of it, but he thinks maybe subconsciously he could have. So the meaning to this song, it can mean so many things to so many people, and I think that's extra special. I don't think it has anything to do with why it's 7 bars long, but I do think the word yesterday needed to be said first, and it needed to be said last, and that it makes everybody feel something. I told you I would play that Instagram clip of the first melody that I came up with when I just sat down and improvised. And the reason I'm waiting to show you is because all this stuff that we've talked about, how we need to say something and then we need to say something else and then repeat that something else, have a unique bar that say the same thing at the beginning that we said at the end. I did not do that at all in this Instagram video. It's not what I did. And I think it's probably the best melody that I wrote over it. Can you recognize this very famous song if I change the melody? The phrase 3 bars long for sure. And you could argue that yesterday is that way, right? I said it. We could make the argument for 3-2-2. Here comes a 2-bar phrase. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, I do another 2-bar phrase. Doesn't it just kind of sound like the end of a Full House episode? Like all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're in TV land. Okay, anyway, that's a tangent. But the 3-2-2 thing held up for me right there. I didn't do the first thing and make it the last thing, and I didn't do that at all. So I kind of busted my 1-2-2-1 theory out of the water right there by writing that. And then I thought of another song that actually has the same chord changes as this song for a little bit. Now, we haven't even talked about chord changes. I haven't really talked about the melody notes. It's because I don't think they're super important in this context. And that's kind of rare for me not to think that the notes and the chords are important. I don't think they're important when we're talking about why is this song 7 bars long. If we were talking about other stuff, I would mention those things. But the other song I thought of is There Will Never Be Another You, which is a song that Paul might have known. Like, he grew up listening to jazz.
When I was growing up, in our house, nobody liked classical music. So we didn't go to concerts. The only thing I would go with would be with the school. You might go to a concert or something. And whenever my dad, who was like jazz, whenever he heard classical music, he said, oh, turn it up. And they played things like Chicago, dun, 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 all that old-fashioned stuff. But I grew up loving all that. And I grew up knowing quite a few of those tunes. You know, it's what all the information I was getting was from him playing the piano.
You have to imagine in your mind, I've put There Will Never Be Another You in the key of F, but you have to imagine that it is half as long as it is. So when 2 bars are in There Will Never Be Another You, that's really 1 bar in Yesterday. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, like that. So Yesterday would be Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. That's how it would go. Right? It lines up for a second. But let's hear what There Will Never Be Another You does. And I mean, I think Paul would have known this song. If he ever watches this, maybe he can tell us. But maybe he already knew it from his dad's record collection. And maybe that's why these chord changes popped into his head in that dream. Maybe. There will be many other nights like this, and I'll be standing here with someone new. All of a sudden, we're already out of the territory of Yesterday. Think if Yesterday did that. I'm going to play the chords to There Will Never Be Another You and the melody to Yesterday. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Why does that happen? Why can't it line up? Well, there's a good reason. And I think this might be the most important discovery that I've made along this crazy journey that I've taken you on. There Will Never Be Another You has this phrase. Ba-da-da-da-da-dee-da-da-da. It's a 2-bar phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. If we look at it like that, it's actually a 4-bar phrase. But if we're looking at it in the form of Yesterday, then it's a 2-bar phrase, and it repeats in the next 2 bars. It's exactly how a song is always written. Da da do 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 da da da. And there's a cadence. Boom. Takes us to the next place. In this case, in There Will Never Be Another You, the next place is the 4 chord. How come that doesn't happen in Yesterday? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the same. We have a 2-5-1 to the key of D minor. 1, but here, there's a quick cadence that doesn't take us to a new place. There will never be another You goes to a new place. It goes to it's a 2-5-1 to the 4. This takes us right back to 1. It's a 4, 5, back to 1. That's unique. So we've got a whole other cadence that finishes on bar 5. That's so important. We had a cadence that finished in bar 3, and now we have a cadence that finishes in bar 5. We can talk about it in terms of phrasing, of melody if we want. We can talk about it in terms of the way you would play drum fills if you want. But right now we're talking about chords. We're talking about the cadences of the actual harmony and the fact that we finish up something in bar 5. Then we've just got a 2-5 to C that never really goes to C because it does pretty much the 5 of F and wraps us right up. And those are the reasons, like almost 30 minutes later, why yesterday had to be in 7. Now, it's so many reasons, and this was so tedious. I mean, I think it's really, really fun. But also, when it's all said and done, I don't know that it's all that important, because the important thing is that somebody sent Paul a dream one night while he was on vacation, and he had the wits about him to wake up, to remember it, to know it was important, to write it down, to use a piano, to sit with it for a month or so, put in some placeholder words. I mean, he used scrambled eggs. That was the first bar, and he used scrambled eggs again in the 7th bar. So the notion that something that was first needed to be last in this song came to him right from the beginning. And of course, Paul being Paul, he knew that it had to mean something. So I think the real answer is what Paul said at the beginning. I think is magic. I think that they are just frequencies bouncing around that we put into some order. That's what life is, right? And how much of life is just pure magic. Yesterday, my gosh, thank you, Paul McCartney. Thank you, Beatles, for letting him play that one on his own. I think that was really, really brilliant and unselfish of them. And it was the first time they had ever... It just takes knowing yourself well enough, trusting your feelings enough to say, it felt like magic to me from the beginning. I think it's going to feel like magic to other people. Like I said at the beginning, if you wanted to hear the extended version of this video, you could just go over to Nebula and watch it. Nebula is a place where I go deeper, where I always put extended cuts of my videos, and I put videos there that I don't think would do well on YouTube. My live performance videos. I made a whole full-length documentary about Brian Wilson's song Surf's Up, and I have 4 full-length classes there where I teach you everything I know about chords, about how to create a meaningful motif or a melody, just like I was showing you here today. But this is all stuff that you'll never see on YouTube. It's just not right for YouTube. And if you've ever wished that you could see my content on Nebula, but you just haven't signed up yet, there's a 3-day trial. You can sign up for Nebula and try it for 3 days. And I mean, you're not going to be able to watch all of my extra stuff on Nebula or the extra stuff that comes from many brilliant creators across the platform, but I kind of dare you to try. Why not? Get it for 3 days. See if you can watch all the stuff. Cancel your subscription. It's not going to happen. You're going to love it, and I think you're going to stick around. And the cool thing is that if you use my code that you see here, it only costs $3 a month. I've also got 4 full-length interviews on Nebula. I've interviewed Larry Goldings.
Thinking about Duke Ellington and the kind of crunchy chords that he might...
Can you show me a couple of those?
Yeah, like...
It's like a whole step above one of the degrees, but you voiced it in the bottom.
Yeah.
Dennis Ham of Thundercat. Jackie Terrison. The Smile. Jacob Mann, 4 brilliant piano players, and we sit right over there and we play duets, and every time they do something that I think is cool, I stop them and I say, what did you do right there, and how were you thinking about it, and when did you come up with it, and show me how to do it. It's all there under the Classes tab in Nebula. Like I said, use my code. You will get Nebula for $36 for the entire year. It's less than a cup of coffee per month, maybe even per 2 months, depending on your order. You can also choose the option to sign up for a lifetime membership at a value of $300 if you use my code rather than the $500 it would be otherwise. You can have it forever. Thank you everybody so much for watching and for doing this crazy thing with me today. And please let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm sure I missed something somewhere along the way. I'll see you next time on Amy Nolte Music.